everybody. Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L. And as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and we are at episode 151, and it's a special one. So to celebrate, we're picking... This is a Mike Dell pick, so tell us what your pick is. Yep.
Yeah. We're going to do Marvel Premiere, issue 36, I believe, right? From 1977.
Also, the one I read, yep.
Marvel Premiere, issue 36, 1977. And the reason why this issue is significant, because it is one of 3 issues that featured 3D Man.
But not the first one. I thought it was his first appearance, but it's not. Yeah,
because I figured, 3D Man made his first appearance in Marvel Premiere issue 35, and then we're reading 36, and then he also appeared in issue 37. I went with the middle one because I figured if there's other videos out there or podcasts talking about 3D Man, they probably talk about that first issue. So we're going to do the old switcheroo. And also, this issue also recaps everything that happened in the first one. So it's like you get 2 birds with 1 stone here. We get both of the issues in one. And also, this one features rock and roll music.
Right.
The sound of the devil. Yeah. So we'll do that. So 3D Man, Michael, do you have any experience with the 3D Man?
Well, only from seeing his horrible costume.
Well,
and,
that's a little harsh.
We'll get to that later, but I was never sure if he was actually a character from the 50s or if he was created, later. But I guess he was created in 77, right? Yeah,
he was created later by Roy the Boy Thomas.
Right.
We love Roy Thomas on this show, and by love, I mean, not like at all, really. Yeah. But yeah, he's the writer here. He is the co-creator, and the other, the artist is Jim Craig.
Never heard of him.
He's a Canadian, Michael.
Oh, really?
He's one of your Canadian brothers, and you don't even care about him. He was a 23-year-old lad when he was drawing this 3D Man. He co-created it with Roy Thomas, and he also drew issue 1 of What If.
Interesting, which I think I've read.
That is pretty cool, though, right? Draw issue 1 of What If. And he did about 10 issues of Masters of Kung Fu, or Master of Kung Fu, not Masters. He did some other stuff, but I think he has about 29 credits on penciling credits for Marvel. So not an extensive career there. But so they're the creators we'll be dealing with. And again, this story runs in Marvel Premiere. Have we ever done a Marvel Premiere book on here? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so, nope.
Yeah, well, Marvel Premiere, it's one of them showcase series where they'd try out stuff. They put characters in there, and if they become successful, they're like, all right, we'll give you your own series.
Right.
And you can tell what happened with 3D Man. Didn't really work out so well, but the first Marvel Premiere issue featured Warlock.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Gil Kane and who did the Warlock with them?
I'm looking at it right now.
Roy Thomas.
Roy Thomas. We did not review that. We reviewed a different Warlock, right?
Yeah, we did the Warlock regular series because he proved successful, I guess, so they gave him his own series. Also, Marvel Premiere is famous for a Doctor Strange run with Steve Englehart and Frank Bruner.
Yep.
That the Death of the Ancient One and some other nonsense was going on there. The second Ant-Man, Scott Lang, premiered in the pages of Marvel Premiere.
Don't forget about Iron Fist.
That's right, Iron Fist, issue 15 by Roy Thomas and Gil Kane. That Roy Thomas, man.
It's everywhere.
Hugely influential, Roy Thomas. Not the best writer in the world, but hugely influential.
Yeah, I'll give you that, yeah. He's influential.
I'm looking through the Marvel Premiere lasted from 1972 to 1981, spanned 61 issues. And I'm looking through all the various characters here that were Adam Warlock was in the first 2, then Doctor Strange in issues 3 through 14, Iron Fist 15 through 25. Then we get Hercules, Satana, the old brother of, not the brother, the sister of...
Son of Satan?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. What's his name? Hellstrom, right?
Damien Hellstrom.
Issue 28, we get the Legion of Monsters. I have no idea who they are. Issues 29 and 30, Liberty Legion.
I'm skimming through these now. Yeah,
we've talked about the Liberty Legion, right?
We've mentioned them.
I think they were in that one issue we did of the Invaders, right?
Yes, that's right. I think they were. Yep.
Now, issue 31, the Wood God.
Wood God. Yeah. Have we covered him?
No.
He was in an issue of Spider-Man I reviewed, I think.
Issue 32, Monarch Starstalker. What? Never heard of that person.
Howard Chaykin. I'd read that.
33 and 34, we get Solomon Kane. I have no idea who that is. I think he's like a monster hunter or something.
No, well, he's from Robert E. Howard. He's a Robert E. Howard creation.
Who should I... Oh, is that Conan?
Conan,
Robert?
yes.
Okay, yeah. All right. 35, 37, 3D Man. Weird World in issue 38. Torpedo in issues 39 to 40.
Wow.
Yeah, we gotta read ourselves some Torpedo at some point. And Seeker 3000, no idea what that is. Tigra.
Seeker 3000 is a Star Trek ripoff, and I read it, and it's pretty bad.
Do you know what Weird World is? I kind of blew past that one.
Weird World is, funny enough, I think it's remarkably like ElfQuest. Remember ElfQuest?
Pass. It's a hard no from me. All right, 42, you get Tigra, then Paladin, Jack of Hearts. We got to read a Jack of Hearts story at some point.
One day.
Yeah, he's on my list. 45 through 46, Man Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
What did we read? Werewolf by Night. That's
Man
completely
Wolf,
different.
That's John Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson's son, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
I think, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Didn't he go up to the moon and came back as a wolf?
As a wolf, right.
It's a wolf, yeah. Then 47, 48, Ant-Man, 49, The Falcon. Hey, we know The Falcon. And then issue 50, Michael. I'm sure you're going to pick this at some day. Alice Cooper.
Right. Looks good to me.
What the hell did they do with Alice Cooper for a full issue?
Right.
Like, not a cameo. It's a whole issue about Alice Cooper.
But could you imagine reading this book every month and never knowing what was going to come next? That seems pretty exciting, you know?
51 through 53, Black Panther. Then 54, Caleb Hammer. I don't know who that is. Is that Iron Man guy, Hammer?
No, I don't think so. No. That's Justin Hammer.
Oh, Justin
This
Hammer.
is a Western.
Oh, a Western. Because they were very popular in the late 70s.
Not quite, yeah.
Wonder Man, issue 55. Dominic Fortune, issue 56. What can you tell me about Dominic Fortune, Michael?
I believe he was created by Howard Chaykin, and he's kind of like an adventurer. Like
a international, not a spy, but an international adventurer. Kind of like a rip-off Doc Savage in a way.
Kind of, yeah.
57 through 60, Doctor Who.
Never heard of it.
I wish I'd never heard of it. And then issue 61, finally, we get Star-Lord.
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy fame. So that's something. They also did, Marvel Spotlight, and what was the other one? Marvel, was it Feature or Marvel... Marvel Feature. So these were all Stan Lee ideas. They said, hey, we'll just have these little series where we can put different ideas in, see if they work, and if not, we'll just move on to something else. And It's kind of a good idea, though, right?
It's actually a great idea, but today you'd never, ever see this, right? You would see 61 number ones before you'd see a series like this, right?
That's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah. You got to sell those number ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this idea. So Marvel Premiere brought us 3D Man, though, Roy Thomas and Jim Craig, and we really don't need to go too much into his backstory because the book explains it. Is there anything else you would like to mention before we get into the book there, Michael?
Well, okay, how about this? Have you ever heard of a character called Triathlon?
Yeah, he's like, I just heard about him today when I was reading about 3D Man. Explain to the kids what happened here.
I actually don't know. I just know that he looks almost exactly like him. Is there a story behind that?
Well, yeah. This is what I read. I breezed through this a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
But apparently, in 1998 or so, they brought this character here, this triathlon fella. He was a former Olympic athlete. He got busted for steroids, and he was trying to recover his life, because he felt like a sham, and he wanted to rebuild his life. So he went to some like a guru, like a consciousness awareness thing or something like that. And he thought that, but they were doing some experiment on him or something, so they gave him the powers of 3D Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
And he magically got the same costume?
Well, yeah, I think they just based it off 3D Man then. So basically, he's the second 3D Man. He becomes the second 3D Man. But he was involved in a couple stories with the Avengers Forever or something in 98 or 2000 or something.
Yes, I remember that, yep.
So yeah, Triathlon is essentially the second 3D Man. But the original 3D man is who we're dealing with here. And I guess after he appeared in these 3 issues, I think he appeared in an issue of the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
Maybe 2 issues. And then he also had a brief cameo in Contest of Champions, issue 1. Remember when they rounded up all the heroes?
Everybody, yeah.
3D cool. Man was in there somewhere.
Nice.
We didn't even notice him.
Nope.
But it's all right. Yeah, 3D Man. We'll talk about it later. But I think 3D Man, they could do more with 3D Man. Come on, let's bring him back.
I mean, yeah. There's potential there for sure.
Hey, Michael, how about we upgrade it? 4D Man.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe change his color scheme while we're at it, eh?
You hate his costume. What's going on with you?
Can we talk about his costume?
Yes, please do. Let's look at the issue here.
Okay, so here's the thing. His costume is red and green. Now, for those people that don't know, the reason it is that color is because the old 3D glasses were red and green because that's how 3D comics and 3D film was printed, right?
Well, I read something I think in this book even, or Roy Thomas explains that actually the original 3D glasses had they were brown and green.
Interesting. Okay.
But then over later years they became red and green. But anyway, the famous 3D glasses like when I was a kid, Michael, they were trying to bring 3D back in the early 80s here.
Yeah,
so there's a couple 3D TV shows. I don't know what it's like in Canada. You're like the Wild West up there, so I don't know what's going on up there. But here in the States, they tried to bring back 3D, and they would show these crappy movies on the local Pittsburgh TV station, and you would go to the gas station called Kogo's, and you'd get your free 3D glasses, and then you could watch the movies at home there. And, yeah, we had them 3D glasses.
Well, I mean, in the 80s, I remember Friday the 13th Part 3, Jaws 3, right?
Yeah.
Piranha 3. Okay.
And then, Marvel brought it back there. Remember the first Avengers? Wasn't that also in 3D? And it seems like there's a bunch of... They'd give you fancier glasses, though, when you went to the movies.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
you're
talking about the post-Avatar explosion of 3D movies that I boycotted, yes.
Are they still doing that?
No, it's fizzled out. Basically, what happened was, as far as I know, Avatar did it. It became this huge thing. And no, it was even before Avatar, because remember, people were buying 3D TVs for home, and I never ever bought into it. And whenever, even today, when you go to see a movie, there's always the 3D option. But there was several years in my hometown, Windsor, where if you wanted to see a blockbuster film, you had to see the 3D version because that's all that was available. And 3D tickets cost more, and it's bullshit,
Yeah, see, that's why I was wondering if they even still did that. Like this new Thor movie, is it also in 3D if you want?
I think there's a 3D version, but I haven't seen a 3D movie in years, so it's already fizzled out, again.
Yeah, I don't leave the house, so I don't know. But, all right, so 3D Man, red and green, and but the right side of his body is red, the left side is green, but his little superhero underpants, the right side is green and the left side is red.
Yes. And his gloves and boots are also opposite.
Yes. And he has green... he also wears goggles, and they're also split in the middle. The green is on the red side and the red is on the green side. But he's wearing this skin-tight outfit, and it's supposed to be some advanced spacesuit that's bonded to his skin.
Well, and he in the story, he talks about his mask, which we'll get to, right? Yeah,
but he can't take it off because it's bonded to his skin.
Right. Now, and I have to point out the reason I don't like red and green together is because, well, first of all, it looks like Christmas, which is fine. I love Christmas.
Yeah, they make fun of him here in the book. They people are making fun of his costume, saying he looks like Christmas and stuff.
Right. But apparently, now there's another famous character in pop culture that has a green and red outfit. And do you remember who he is? He's in horror.
Green and red outfit
stripes.
In horror.
Yes.
Oh, you're talking Freddy Krueger?
Yep, Freddy Krueger, green and red.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, what do you mean? It is. It's green and red. And so, what's his name? Wes Craven. He actually, apparently, he asked a psychologist or someone, what are the two hardest colors for the human brain to process together? And they said green and red. And so that's why he picked those colors. And so I think that, it's fine to pick those colors, but they're just so hard for my human brain to process. You know what I mean? When I see them.
You must have hated the New Jersey Devils back in the day. They wore the red and green as well.
Did they? I must have not noticed.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to Google them right now. Anyway.
Yeah, during the 80s. The 80s
okay.
And 90s. Yeah. Then they went to red and black. But the red and green outfits were the best for the Devils.
Were they?
Yeah, they were awesome.
Oh yeah, I see them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like this 3D Mano outfit because it's striking, and my brain has no problems processing the colors because my brain is super advanced.
There you
and
go.
also, Michael, his chest, he has like a triangle symbol on his chest. It's yellow, and like it's just like 3 triangles like inside each other, right? Is that all it is?
Right. Yeah. I'm clicking around here. Yeah. It's just I don't know what that's
tough to
supposed
get
to
a
be.
good shot at it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just 3 triangles. You're right.
I guess it's supposed to represent the 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh boy. There's so much we can talk about. Like he's 3 times stronger and 3 times faster than everyone.
Yeah, all right, so let's explain it here. So I don't know, what are their names? Hal Chandler and his brother Chuck Chandler, right? Chandler?
Right.
Is that
I think so. Yeah.
So Hal is a little fellow with blonde, and this is set in 1958. He's a little fellow with blonde hair, like crew-cut glasses, a nerd. He's got a bad leg. He walks with a crutch. His brother is super athletic, NASA astronaut guy. And he goes up into space, and he runs into the Skrulls. Those filthy Skrulls. And he gets kidnapped by the Skrulls, and they're about to probe him, you know?
Yep.
Some of that
I know
probing.
what that's like. Yep.
And he escapes, but the Skrull ship blows up, and his ship kind of like blows up or something. He gets hit with the radiation, and he crashes, and he disappears. Right when his brother's there to look at him, he like disappears and goes to a different dimension. But his image gets burned into the glasses that his nerdy brother, is wearing.
Right.
So his nerdy brother's glasses has an image of his brother now dead on his glasses. And so when his nerdy brother stares through these glasses, and he just stares at a flat surface, right? Like he doesn't have to say a magic word or anything.
No,
he just concentrates.
There's no say you, there's no Shazam, nothing. No.
And as long as he's looking at like a wall or something, a flat surface, boom, 3D man pops out, comes to life. And it's his brother, the resurrected version of his brother from some alternate dimension. He pops back into existence, but now he's 3D man, and he's wearing this crazy outfit, and he's 3 times stronger than he used to be, like a normal human, like a peak Olympic athlete. He's 3 times stronger than that guy, 3 times faster, can jump 3 times farther. What else? I guess his senses are 3 times as enhanced. Everything. He's 3 times better, Michael, because he is 3D man.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I like that gimmick.
I gotta say, we agree that Roy Thomas is not a great writer, but god damn if he can't come up with cool characters sometimes, eh?
Yeah. See, I thought you were going to be making fun of it. But I think this is a fun character. It's set in 1950s, you know, like it's a simpler time and more innocent days, and you get a 3D man running around in a red and green outfit. It's pretty good.
It's pretty cool, I gotta admit, yes.
And I like that he doesn't have all these crazy powers like shooting energy or whatever. I like that he's just 3 times stronger and 3 times.
Yeah, it's very 1950s, very.
Yeah.
Yep.
He can't fly or anything. Oh, he also has some like extra sensory perception. He can sense them filthy Skrulls.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
He gets like a spider sense for them Skrulls. Hey, Michael, if they do that Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Skrull stuff, why don't they bring back 3D Man?
I hope they do.
Yeah, he can sniff out them filthy Skrulls.
Yep.
What else do we need to know about 3D Man? I guess that's basically the premise here, that his brothers, and the one is 3D. Oh, he also 3D Man, when he comes into existence, he stays there for 3 hours.
Oh, I missed that. Really?
Yeah, because when he becomes 3D Man, Hal, the nerdy little brother, he collapses and goes into like a coma.
Yes, which is a realistic writer could find some very interesting situations to put him in.
Yeah, that's like a morgue.
Yeah,
like they could put him in a morgue or bury him. But anyway, so he's gone for 3 hours, and then 3D Man's up and running around, and then when 3 hours hits, he disappears, and then the other one wakes up again.
Right.
Yet the two of them are like synced mentally, so like Hal knows he's creating 3D Man. It's not like he just passes out and doesn't know what happens. He knows he's creating him, and Chuck knows that his brother is still there, and they can kind of communicate, I guess, in a way. It's not like they have conversations, but they kind of like share one consciousness, I guess.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of like Captain Marvel, sort of Shazam, right? A little bit.
Not really, because he doesn't pass out.
No, I know, but they share a body, kind of, not really. Yeah, you're right. It's different.
I guess Firestorm. How does Firestorm work again? Like the one just disappears.
Yeah,
like the older guy just
like
disappears.
Professor Stein just disappears and becomes like Ronnie Raven's kind of like conscience, you know?
Yeah. Is there another example of someone who passes out? Well,
no, and is left completely defenseless, asleep,
Yes.
like behind a bush. No, I can't think of one.
3D man.
Yeah.
All
Here
right.
we go. Woo! All right.
So let's look at the cover.
So here we go. Marvel Premiere featuring the 3D man with a nice 3D
that's right.
logo.
I didn't see the 3D man. That's right.
And then we see like a nice Kirby-esque shot of him running in the corner box. It's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, very exaggerated.
Yep. And then this is obviously a Gil Kane cover, right? And we see 3D Man about to engage in a fist fight with a rock and roller who's like a guy playing guitar. And he's kind of wearing like a... It's funny, though. It kind of looks like a... I don't know what you'd call that, but it almost looks like something Elvis would have worn in the 70s, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yes. It's a sparkly jumpsuit. It's yellow. Right. Definitely what Elvis would wear in the 70s. Not here in 1958, though.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
But he also has like an ascot. And listen, I love Gil Kane. His covers are always awesome. This cover is awesome, but I would have taken another swing at that right arm on the guitar player. That thing, that is very long. Like that arm is very long.
You could say that, but I do appreciate the detail he put into the finger positions. You see that? Like the fingers in shadow. That's really good. Yeah.
Gil Kane is awesome, but just like take that hand and move it up about a little bit.
Yeah.
Because his
and
knuckles will be dragging.
Yeah, that's true. And then behind this guy is a scrawl, kind of like a ghost image of a scrawl, kind of coming out of the guy, right? Like floating behind him, like a big scrawl with his hands out. And the caption is, they used to say rock and roll was the devil's music. And then the other one says, they were right. And then at the bottom, we see all these people, like fans watching the show, and it says, Marvel's sensational new 1950s superhero.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
it's a good cover. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love anything Gil Kane does. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So then we open up the book, and we get the title of this is The Devil's Music.
Uh-huh.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then we see... Okay, so we should also point out that the credits, it says, another awesome action epic from the Wild Ones. And I believe, wasn't that one of Marlon Brando's movies?
The Wild One was Marlon Brando.
Oh, okay.
1953, I believe.
Right, and then in his... So 3D Man is like sitting on top of a ledge on a building, and he's looking down at a mugging. And in his thoughts, he's like... Looks like no rest for the wicked. Those fugitives from a Brando pig are ganging up on Professor Potter. That's how I knew this was set in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, he shoehorns in a lot of 50s references.
Right.
Where they really don't belong. When he's just hammering on home.
And I love how these guys all have tough guy names. Like this guy's name's Buzz, right? That's a pretty cool name.
But it's an interesting shot here, Jim Craig. Because, like, if you look at the full shot here, like, the professor's left leg, the foot is really in the foreground here at the bottom, and, like, the way he's angled. So, he's trying to do
it's an interesting angle, definitely, yep.
It's kind of like a worm's eye view, yeah.
Right, yep. And then we cut to the next page, and, 3D Man kind of, like, leaps down and is, like, kicking. Look at that double, like, Captain Kirk double kick there. Walk.
Yeah, flying drop kick. Missile drop kick off the top rope.
And then he punches another guy, spow, and the guy goes flying. And then he throws another guy.
This is great, though. This is what I want out of a superhero comic.
By
the way, Michael, I should say Roy Thomas's original plan was these books were supposed to be printed in 3D.
Oh.
So I think when you look through here, you might be able to spot, like, hey, this is probably meant to be in 3D or 3D, like jumping off the page. But then they realized how much it would cost, and they said, screw that.
Right. So interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, and so then it's funny because there's a little funny exchange here where one of the guys is like, he's like, now just hold him a minute. And then the other guy, like, grabs 3D Man from behind, and he's holding him. He's like, but he's strong, Buzz. Hurry up and cut him before hey, Buzz, don't run out of me. And Buzz just takes off.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, he's like, hold 3D Man there, and I'll see you later. Hey, we should also mention that the 3D Man has a belt as well, a yellow belt.
Yellow belt, yep.
With little circles on it. I wonder if them circles do anything.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out, yeah. In a future issue of Marvel Premiere.
Well, we got one shot left to find out because he's only in 3.
And then there's a little reference to the last issue where he says, because he says earlier, what does he say? If your pal Buzz is who I think he is, just be glad you're going to a nice, safe jail cell. And then the next page, in his head, he's like, couldn't explain to that punk how I know he's just being used. The same way a bunch of communist spies were a few days back. And it says, last-ish Roy, right?
Yeah.
And then he's running, and then he catches up with the guy that ran away, and the guy's sitting on a motorcycle, and sure enough, he shapeshifts. Oh, first he says, hold it right there, Skrull. And he's like, oh, so you've sensed the truth, have you? And then he changes back into a Skrull. And then meanwhile, it looks like, I don't remember this. Is this a cop? Yes. No, this is the guy. This is the guy that was being
Professor
mugged.
Potter.
Yeah, Professor Potter.
Hey, the panel right before we see Potter there, look at 3D Man. He's angry, like he sees the Skrull, and he got like this black pattern shooting out of his head there.
It's
to
almost
show
like a
that
spider sense, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, his Skrull sense. And then and then 3D Man narrate, like he's talking out loud, and he explains. He's like, I can run 3 times as fast as the athletes who've run the 4-minute mile, and with 3 times their endurance. So he's running after the guy on the motorcycle, and the guy's still got like the not the briefcase, but whatever it is, like the
I think it's a briefcase.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, briefcase. And oh, look at that, we got a nice couple ads there. And then he
can't catch up to him on the motorcycle though.
Right.
And 3D Man says, "Of course, it's no ordinary cycle. It's been souped up by Skrull science."
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So then he meets up with the other hoods that were being used, right? And then the guy's like, the cop's like, you're aces in my book, Mr. And he's like, I call myself the 3D Man. And then he says, I know so-called superheroes aren't exactly in style in your year of our Lord 1958. This is exactly how people talk, right? This is a great dialogue. And then one of the other cops like, shove fashion, buddy. Check, my old man used to be on the NYPD. You should have heard the stories he told about the invaders in the Liberty Legion. And then we see like a little flashback to Captain America, Bucky, Submariner. I think that's Ms. America and the Wizard and Human Torch. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, and he said shove fashion because they're making fun of his outfit, right?
Right. Yeah. And then
but he says, hey, how about you hang around and he says, how do you get that mask to stick to your face so tight?
Yes.
And he says, sorry, friend, but I just remembered I've got to get home in time to watch Howdy Doody.
Right.
Get in another one of them 50s references. And then he says in his thoughts, not as great an exit line as Hi-Yo Silver, but then I'm still new at this masked man bit. Besides, this isn't a mask. It's my face.
Right. That's awesome. I love it. This is good stuff. Anyway, so then as he's running, he's like, oh, they're not trying to follow me. Good. Now, you got to understand, I did not know anything about 3D Man when I read this comic, so I was learning all this as I go. And so all of a sudden, I see 3D Man kind of land in the middle of this, forest or whatever, and then he just jumps into the air. And then the narration's like, then, even as you leap 3D Man, you feel you're splitting again into twin images of red and green. Images which shrink swiftly, amazingly, to the size of tiny specks on a teenager's glasses. And we see him leap into Hal Chandler's glasses. And then Hal Chandler stands up and just starts walking away.
Yeah, I like how they did the color printing there. You see one solid green 3D Man, and then inside there's a faint all red 3D Man, and they're overlaid, so it's like a 3D image.
Yeah, it's cool. And so then, this guy, Hal Chandler, was just like laying in the bushes, and then he kind of walks up.
That's a weird decision there for the angle in the next panel. We see him walking upstairs, but we're like at the bottom of the stairs, looking at his ass and the bottom of his foot. So it's kind of tough to read what's happening or where he's
Yeah,
walking.
and then like where were these stairs? And yeah,
Yes.
it almost looks like he was down the stairs. But anyway, so then he's walking, and then a cop sees him, and he's like, "Who's that going to the observatory?" And then the other cop is like, "Use your eyes, Mulvaney. That's no Hood. He's just an ordinary kid." And then I
Just an
love
ordinary kid.
Uh-huh.
Hey, and we should mention that Hal, I said at the beginning he had a bad leg. He had some childhood disease or something, so he had a bad leg. He always had to walk with a crutch. But since he's been doing this 3D man shit, his leg's gotten better.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
so he doesn't have
relief.
to walk with a crutch anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So then Hal Chandler goes and meets Professor Potter, the same guy that 3D Man just rescued, right?
Yep.
And Professor Potter's like, "Oh, Hal Chandler, isn't it? The boy who called me from Highland High." Huh. So they don't know each other. And then oh yeah, so then he comes in and he's like there were a bunch of, he basically explains to this guy, he's like, "Well, there were a bunch of teenage hoodlums so eager to steal my research notes dealing with recent UFOs." So he just had all this information on UFOs, but it just got stolen by those guys.
Yeah, there's filthy squirrels.
Right. And then the narration, again, this is like second person narration, but he's like, but Hal Chandler's like, he's like, sorry, it's like I have to read this whole thing, but he's like, "I'm sure I don't know, sir." So he doesn't know anything about what the guy's talking about, but then the narration's like,
But he does.
You can
does.
guess, can't you, 3D man? And then it flashes back to his origin, right?
Yeah,
It
so we get
shows-
the origin story we talked about where his brother clashed with
Right.
the squirrels and all that stuff.
Pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool. I like it. The origin. Yeah, we see him like meeting the Skrulls. We see like a Kirby-esque, like Kirby Crackle spaceship. It's really cool. And then like we see him punching a Skrull. And then it's trying to escape. And then and so so at this point there's still two of them. And it's, what's the other brother's name?
Chuck.
Chuck Chandler leaps, or no, he's flying this UFO. Or no, the UFO explodes.
Yeah, he's flying a rocket ship, U.S. Air Force, and the Skrull ship explodes.
Okay.
So.
And then yeah, and so then it's like, but this biggest, strangest miracle of all came when you rushed towards an astonished Hal Chandler, only to vanish in a burst of brilliance, even as he stretched out his own hand to touch you. You ceased to exist then for all practical purposes, and when Hal recovered and scrambled over to retrieve his fallen glasses, he found twin images on them, twin images of red and green, all that was left, it seemed, of his star-crossed older brother. See, you have to be insane to think of that idea, and Roy Thomas is insane. Like, this is brilliant, right? It's just good stuff.
Yeah, I guess, because the Skrulls had brought his ship, they captured it, but then he escaped the Skrulls, got back in his ship, flew away, their ship exploded, and it bathed his rocket ship in radiation,
Right.
So then when he crashed, he himself was also bathed in that same radiation, and it somehow put him into a different dimension. And I like to
Right.
say radiation because that was an old episode of Lassie. Where
Oh,
Timmy,
really?
Yeah. Timmy was out in the desert with Lassie, and some NASA guys said, they stopped him. They said, "Hey, you guys didn't see any, like a rocket that landed out here, did you? It can be very dangerous. It has radiation on it or something." And Timmy says, "We haven't seen any radiation." So that's
Okay.
that's how I pronounce it.
Well, maybe that's how they pronounced it back then. In fact, this is the 50s, right? So maybe that's how they pronounced it here.
I haven't seen any radiation. All right, anyway. So, so Hal Chandler, he goes over the backstory once again, and then he says, "All right, Professor Potter, I'll see you later there, buddy." And he leaves, and he goes back home where his dad is, he knows his dad is staying busy, because, everyone's sad that they think Chuck is dead. Mm-hmm. Their brother's dead. His brother's dead. But he goes, "I know Dad's keeping busy by building our bomb shelter." And then his dad's in the backyard digging a big hole. It's pretty...
And then we're introduced to his sister, right?
No. It's the two brothers and their parents, and then this is the girlfriend of the brother Chuck who died.
Oh,
This is Peg.
Okay.
But they consider her as part of the family
Right.
because, she was real close to Chuck. I think they were engaged or something. Now, get this, Michael. I was reading, about 3D Man, and I guess later on or something, when there's a later 3D Man adventure, They say that this Howe fella, he gets so tired, he quits wearing the glasses, and then he marries Peg.
What?
So,
That's a
so
low blow.
he says, now that my brother's in another dimension, I'm going to put these glasses away, and I'm going to make sweet, sweet love to his lady.
Jeez.
And they end up getting married and have kids, and I guess he just leaves his brother in that other dimension.
Wow. Scumbag, eh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, that would be a good Disney Plus TV show, though. Right there. That's how you end it. Anyway.
Well, I'm sure they'll be at 3D Man pretty soon. They keep cranking out these shows.
Yeah, they're kind of getting to the bottom of the barrel here, scraping the bottom of the barrel. Anyway, so then we're introduced to a local rock and roll star named Vince Rivers.
Yeah, because they go inside. The family goes inside to watch the news or whatever.
Right.
And Mike, I got to read you this.
Okay.
Because our top local story tonight. New rock star Vince Rivers is packing them in at the Astra Theater with 2 shows nightly. Teens go wild over his big hit, Rocket in My Pocket.
Yeah, I wonder what that's alluding to, eh?
Yeah, because he's the latest discovery of TV disc jockey Doc Rock. But anyway, Howe and Chuck's dad is irate when he hears that. Rocket, he's like, did you hear that? That punk song's about rockets. Well, my son died testing them for this country. Rock and roll is the devil's music, and it's leading this nation's kids straight to hell. Well, first of all, Mr. Chandler, if that is your real name, that song is not about rockets. It's about penises.
Yes.
So don't worry about
Dicks,
that, all right?
right.
Yeah. They're not making fun of your dead son.
Right.
But, yeah, he's outraged. And then Hal, the nerdy little brother, he's like, yeah, Dad's just upset. He'll get over it. And yet, funny, call it a hunch. But I think I'll watch that second show of Vince Rivers.
Yeah.
And he sees a scroll in his mind.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, he's thinking these scroll senses going off, right?
Yeah.
So then, we cut over to the actual show backstage, and this is Vince, right? And he's talking to, who is this, Professor Potter? No.
No. This is Doc Rock, the disc jockey who discovered Vince Rivers.
Yes. Okay. So then he's talking to him, and then he goes out.
Hey, Mike, real quick, that the second panel there's a police officer going to Vince Rivers, and he's like, hope you can hold down the swivel hip stuff this time, Mr. Rivers. We've had complaints.
Yes.
And then Vince Rivers says, hey, let him tell it to the judge. I've got a show to do. But if you look at that cop, it looks very much like Norm Macdonald playing Bob Dole.
Yeah, you could say that. Yep.
This was drawn
catch.
in 1977.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You never know, right?
That's crazy. Anyway.
And so this, I guess, is the opening act, right?
Yeah, they're nerds. They're like singing
like,
One Starry Night, We Fell in Love. There's like 4,
right.
like a quartet or something. Yeah.
Like a barbershop quartet type thing, kind of. And then the audience is like, we want Vince. And then so Vince Rivers comes out, and he.
We should say Hal was there with Peggy as well. Peggy accompanied him.
Yes. And he comes out, and I love when they put the lyrics like into the story so you can read them.
Yeah.
And he starts singing his big hit, and he's like, I'm a watchdog baby, and I'm watching you. You'll never get away no matter what you do. It's good stuff.
Sounds
Roy
like a
Thomas
stalker.
can also write songs, yeah.
but there's no like Rocket in My Pocket reference at all.
No, true, no, there's not.
So I'm guessing this is probably a different song. I
Must
guess.
be the B-side, yeah.
Yeah, this is like the Watchdog song.
Yeah.
Watchdog baby. Yeah.
And then in the audience we see we want Vince, and like, yay, they're screaming. And then who's this guy? Okay, so then there's a cop who's the guy he grabs here? Like,
just a random teenager who's causing trouble.
You kids are get your hands off me, Fuzzy, before I punch you one, right? This is what kids were like back in the 50s, I guess.
Yep.
And
so like a riot breaks out because of this Vince Rivers. His music is just so evil. It's turning these
devil's
good
music.
Teenagers
right
into hell spawns.
And then this kid actually knocks over one of the cameras, right? And breaks it.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, what's his name? Hal Chandler is like, I was afraid something like this was building up. Lucky I sneaked away just in time. And even luckier, the Chuck isn't really dead, but just stored in 2 parts on these glasses. Lord knows how. So he puts on his glasses. I love this.
Yeah,
And then
Well, we should say he wears glasses normally, but like he keeps the 3D glasses in a little case because you don't want to be walking around wearing those glasses,
right?
Because you'd be staring at your dead brother the whole time. Right. So he switches glasses.
Yes, this is awesome. And so then he shoots like lasers kind of out of his eyes, and it produces the 3D man. And 3D man's like, the 3D man lives again. Only thing is that when that happens, Hal instantly collapses into a comatose state.
yeah. That's not narration. That's 3D man saying that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in his thoughts. But the panel before that, Michael, when he's the rays are first coming out of the glasses, we get Hal thinking, "Hey, I just realized this is the theater where they used to film the $1 Million Question back before the TV quiz show scandals, and I'm in one of their leftover isolation booths. Well, I can put one wall of it to good use anyway." Again, another Roy Thomas just hammering home the 50s references.
Yes.
Quiz show scandal.
Yeah.
Get it in there.
Uh-huh.
You could just have him look at a normal wall,
Right,
Doesn't have to
right.
be
Unnecessary. Yep. Yeah. So then 3D Man runs out to save the day, and he's like, all that matters is nearly every teenager in the audience is suddenly rioting, and I've got to help before somebody gets hurt. And we see like one of the guys punching one of the cops, right?
Yep.
And then getting pop-ups here just a second here, and then skipping ads for vinyl repair, and then we cut over and we and then we see it's so weird. So then 3D Man, I guess he punches one of the toughs, and then he's like, "Sorry, officer, you may have seen him first, but I saw him third." Little private joke there. This is awesome. And then he's like, "Uh-oh, way over there, a big crate's jarred loose, and it's falling right before that boy. No broad jumper ever made a long enough leap to knock him out of the way in time, but then I keep forgetting I can jump 3 times farther than most of them." So he jumps and it manages to save the boy, right?
I like how he can jump 3 times farther than most of them.
Right.
So there are some people out there who can jump just as far as 3D Man.
Oh, this is awesome. Anyway, so then he's like, we see more toughs, and he like leaps into the fray. And
but he realizes that Vince Rivers, the music, is driving these kids nuts. So he's got to shut down that music.
Right. And then we get to hear more lyrics. "I'm a watchdog, baby, and I'm And then he gets stopped by someone.
That's Doc Ock or Doc Rock.
Right.
Rock.
So then he tries to stop him. He's like, "You better stop." And then Vince Rivers is like, "Let go. You may be the great Doc Rock, biggest DJ since the Payless scandals, but I'm still Vince Rivers, right?"
And again, I don't know technically if he'd make that reference to the Payless scandals in 1958 because I think it became a national thing in 59 and 60.
Right.
So I don't want to like get too hardcore on him here. Maybe,
exactly.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then 3D Man's like, "Odd, as soon as Rivers quit playing for a moment, the tingling I felt stopped. Then I was right. That saucer explosion may be sensitive somehow to the presence of Skrulls. There must be one right around here causing all the chaos, and I think I just figured out how." And we see him looking at one of the speakers, right? The amplifiers. So then he leaps up onto the stage, and he he does kind of like he does like a cannonball leap into the air and smashes his legs through the amplifier. And we get to see more lyrics before that happens. "I don't want to be your tomcat, baby. I just want to be your old watchdog." And then right at that moment, that's when 3D Man smashes through the thing.
And the way they do it is interesting. Like the left panel, you see him jumping in the background, and then there's another image of him, and then there's a big image of him in a cannonball position that spans both panels.
Right.
And then in the right panel, he's ending the jump as hitting into the speaker, kind of like Finn Balor in the coup de grace, his finishing move. At the double stomp.
Yeah,
Boom.
I don't know him. No.
Yeah, he's son of a bitch. Yeah, Finn Balor. Yeah.
So then the next page, we get this giant Kirby-esque splash page of him holding up the amplifier over his head with his legs spread wide open.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
it's like,
good.
"Look at my balls."
Yeah. And he's like, "All right, Skrull, show's over. Drop the DA hairdo and the gold lame getup."
Gold.
Let the
yeah.
And
is it LeMay? I think.
Gold LeMay. Yeah, you're right. It's got the accent aigu. I don't know which accent that is. And he's like, "Let the locals see you for what you really are, a green-skinned monster out to get them to kill each other." So then Vincent Price or Vincent, what's his name? Vincent what?
Vincent Rivers. Vince Rivers. Vincent
Rivers.
Price.
He
Yeah, imagine if
his,
Vincent Price was singing the song. That'd be crazy.
That'd be even funnier. So he drops his guitar and starts running away, and then 3D Man is like, "You asked for it," and he throws the amplifier out at him, and it kind of, I don't know, it doesn't hit him. It drops right in front of him, and it causes him to reveal himself. Right? Does he? No, he doesn't.
No.
No.
That's what he's hoping will happen.
Yeah.
He's hoping that it will startle him.
Because the narration says, "Admitted hero, you hoped that a hurtling amp would startle the Skrull into dropping his human shell and revealing himself. You're out of luck."
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And
but the cops arrest Vince Rivers, though, for, inciting a riot, I guess.
Right. Yeah, they're like, book him. So, yeah, he's arrested, and we see these little, we see, the sparkles coming off his shiny clothes. It's pretty cool. And then one of the cops is like, "But who's that fellow in red and green back there?" And then the other cop's like, "I don't know who he is, Doc, but as far as I could tell, he was doing his darndest to stop the riot. He can go as long as he swears to turn up later as a material witness if needed." And he's like, "You have the word of the 3D Man, Sergeant. Now, if you excuse me," and then he just walks away. He starts to walk away, but then he's stopped by the gal.
Peg.
What's her name? Peg. She's like, I just thought I knew you from somewhere, but I guess I was mistaken." And
he's like, "What is it, young lady? I'm in a hurry. Now, this is your love. This is the love of your life.
Uh-huh.
You think you'll never see again." And 3D Man's super cold to her,
Yeah. And they... Go ahead.
Well, you think he'd show a little affection to her or
Yeah, I
something.
guess not. Nope.
At least hesitate. But no, he's a cold
No,
bastard.
and then the narrator's like, "You've learned one thing this evening anyway. You've still got a heart inside this strange form you now wear." And then we cut over to the Doc Rock, whatever his name is, and then he is walking into another room, and then he turns into a Skrull. And the narration's like, "And this may just turn out to be one." Oh, he's like, sorry, it's like, "But even you can't see everything, not just yet. And this may just turn out to be one of those times when what you don't know can hurt you." And
it's a big Skrull. So 3D Man, his spidey sense was tingling. He thought Vince Rivers was the Skrull, but no, Doc Rock was the Skrull.
Right.
Because they were near each other. He was on stage there next to him. So he got tricked.
Yep.
He got tricked. And,
good twist.
Next issue, the most shocking, insidious 1950 supervillain of all. And I don't know what his name is, but it's like an ice guy. He can shoot ice and stuff.
Ice? Is it Jack Frost?
No. I think it's just a made-up dude from the 50s. I guess we should look ahead to see what his name is, but I don't know.
It is Sub-Zero Man.
Really?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
How about that? Sub-Zero. Well, there it is, Michael. 3D Man. I enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. It was... listen, Roy Thomas is a terrible writer. I'm sorry. He's just really bad. He's really bad.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that the moment where Michael laughed the hardest on this show was Roy Thomas. Remember in the All-Star Squadron issue?
Yeah,
right?
It was something about. I was thinking about that. It was when something about looking up and seeing a bridge over a volcano or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were in their under. I think they were in the base of a volcano, their headquarters were in something, and there was molten lava flowing in a river or something, and there was a bridge, and I can't even remember the exact details, but he explained everything that was happening in the dialogue.
The thing is I actually, you know how I have a very bad habit of collecting comics for years and not reading them, and then reading them all, and then trying to read them at once? Well, I have been collecting 60s Avengers reprints since I was a teen, okay?
Wow.
And I finally sat down to finally read the Roy Thomas run, starting with around number 40 or so.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was in the early days, after Stan Lee, and then Roy Thomas came in.
Yep. And then he did all the way up to issue 100 or whatever. And I swear to God, even though they're drawn by John Buscema, one of my favorite artists, I could not get through them. So I was not looking forward to reading this issue, but this was very entertaining, I must say. It wasn't good, fun. But it was entertaining.
Yeah, again, we've talked about Roy Thomas many times, but we haven't talked about him a lot in the last year or so because I've been purposely avoiding anything he writes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to read this, so I'm like, all right, we'll give Roy another shot. But again, not to criticize Roy, he's a hugely influential guy in the history of comic books, and like he had a love and a passion for comics that made him great, and he's a good big picture guy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he could really like a good editor. Like, but he in the early days of Marvel, these weren't trained writers. They were just comic book fans who were given a chance to write comic books.
Yes.
And
good point.
It really shows with Roy, most of all.
Yep.
He's not a writer.
No, in fact, he's probably the first fan turned professional, right? I'm going to guess.
Yeah, because he started there and he's like a teenager, and then he worked his way up. He was Stan Lee's right-hand man and everything. But here's the ideal position for Roy Thomas. Like, he's an idea man, you know?
Right.
You have Roy Thomas off on the side. You're like, hey, Roy, come up with some ideas, and then we'll write them for you.
Yeah.
That's what you want Roy Thomas to do.
I agree.
But still, this is very fun. It's not great. The art's fine. Jim Craig, he's a young fella here. You know, it's not great. I like some of the stuff he's doing with 3D Man, like you said, very Kirby-esque in his poses. Because I'm sure they told him, hey, try and copy like what you think a 1950 superhero would look like. You know, very dynamic. And so, because again, in the 50s, Michael, superheroes weren't popular at all, right? In the real world.
They kind of declined and then they came back.
Yeah. So I guess that's why you could go back and fill in the gaps here with these made-up heroes in the 50s.
Right.
And 3D Man really works, I think, for that era.
Yeah.
And the Devil's music, rock and roll.
Yeah, I think the key thing, and I think Grant Morrison said this, is that when Stan Lee was writing, it was always a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But when Roy Thomas took over, Roy Thomas believed, like, he was serious. Like, he really took superheroes seriously. And it's kind of what made him good, but also what kind of made him bad, right? Like, he's not a great writer, but he's got such conviction when he's writing that it kind of comes through, right? Like, he's really trying hard, even though he's not a good writer.
The plot here is fine. Like, the big picture stuff is fine. It's the little dialogue and the interactions and stuff like that's bad. It's really bad. But, whatever. What can you do?
Yeah. And, like, again, if you take yourself too seriously, you could never come up with this concept of, like, a man, being produced out of the glasses of his brother. Like, it's just insane, right? Like, to think of that.
The images of his dead brother burned into the glasses.
Right. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah.
So there you go. 3D Man. I don't know. I might go back and read the next one.
The other two? Yeah, there's only 3 total. You might as well, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I read the first one or I flipped through it at one point, but I never looked at this third one. So maybe I'll do that. Hey, there is an Incredible Hulk issue out there with 3D Man, so maybe, we'll read that at some point.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
All right, Michael, so there is 3D Man. What do you think? 1 out of 10.
Okay, seriously, on the entertainment scale, it's got to be at least a 7.
Wow, look at you.
Yep.
7. All right, I was probably going to go 6, but yeah, I'll go 7 for you as well, Michael. Since you're very positive about this, I will also be positive about it. It is a fun read, and I love his costume. You hate his costume, but I think it's dynamite. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can live with it, but I mean, and it suits the character, so that's fine. But yeah, I don't think it's great. But anyway,
there it is.
Oh, and by the way, I just discovered that the issue of the Hulk with the 3D Man, the cover was done by Michael Golden. So
really?
I'm in anytime.
Now, anyway. I think he may have been in 2 issues, like 251 or 252 or 250 and 251. Or
I got 251 here, and I'm not sure about 252, but maybe he's on 250. Let's see, 250. No, maybe he's in it, but it's Silver Surfer on the cover.
All right.
But anyway, cool.
So there you go, 3D Man. All right, Michael. So next week, try and beat 3D Man.
All right. Well, guess what? I'm pulling out all the stops, because I'm trying to top our 150th episode. So we're going to have a very special guest next week in the form of Kevin Jank.
Kevin Jank.
Yep. Don't sound too excited. It's his 15th appearance. This is another record breaker. I mean, it's definitely a monumental occurrence, right? 15 appearances. Yeah. And I let him have the honors of choosing the book, I'll have you know. And he decided to go with something we've never done before, and that's Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters.
He did not pick Green Arrow.
Yes,
Shut up. He did not pick Green Arrow.
Yes, he did.
This is one of those instances where you said, all right, Kevin Jank, would you like to do Green Arrow or Superman? And he said, all right, I guess Green Arrow.
No.
But Kevin Jank did not pick Green Arrow. There is no way.
Completely
no way.
unprovoked by me. Completely, no conversation. He just came to me with Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters #1.
That is not true at all.
Yeah, well, you can ask him about it if you like.
We will. Also, I'm just checking here. Incredible Hulk issues 251 and 252.
Okay.
3D Man. 3D Man is also in What If issue 9. So if
Oh,
you wanna,
nice. Yeah, I think I've read that, actually. It's pretty cool.
I guess it's a story about, like, if the Avengers were formed in the 1950s. He would have been one of the Avengers.
Right.
So, all right. So next week, Green Arrow Longbow Hunter.
Yes, the Longbow Hunters #1. I sent you the link. This is basically, if you remember Batman The Dark Knight by Frank Miller, it was a huge hit, right?
Yeah.
And DC had to follow up The Dark Knight with another prestige format, kind of bookshelf comic, on nice paper with nice art and nice story. And this was it. Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters.
What year is this? 87 or?
This is around, definitely around there. I'm not sure exactly, but around.
Now you said we've never done this, but we never did this title, but we did Green Arrow before.
We did Green Lantern Green Arrow, but never solo Green Arrow. This
Remember where they had their buddy Speedy? He was on the Smack.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Yeah,
All
I can't
right.
wait. There is no way Kevin Jank picked Green Arrow.
Yeah, well, I bet my life on it. You'll see. You can talk to him about it all you like, but I had no influence, trust me. Anyway,
Insane.
so there you go. Another episode of Flea Market Fantasy. Every week we review a different Bronze Age comic. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks, but sometimes Kevin Jank picks. And you can find all of our episodes at www.comicbooksyndicate.com. And be sure to join us every week. And until next Tuesday, disperse!